Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now. If you guys are able to listen to me properly as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please do let me know. Today my video will be off, so because my camera isn't working, I hope that isn't a problem with everybody. Okay, so nevertheless, please do let me know if I'm audible to everybody. If you guys are able to listen to me properly as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please do let me know. Today I will be not having my camera on because it's actually not working. So nevertheless, if you guys are able to listen to me properly as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please do let me know. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. No issues. That's great. So, how is everybody? How is life? How is everything going on? Did you had a good day today? Please do let me know. The face cam is off for today. It's not working. That is the reason why you aren't able to see me. But I hope so that I'm audible clearly. There shouldn't be any issues with the audio, according to me. Everything is perfect. That's great. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Mohit, how to get the certificate of ML? Can anybody tell me? So the ML bootcamp has already come to its completion. So if you are joining right now, you won't be able to get the certificate. The next bootcamps is going to start from the 6th of October. I think so. You will be able to see it on my screen itself, devtown.in. You can go right over there in the events section. You can register yourself for the next upcoming bootcamp. That is the front end web development Google Drive clone bootcamp using HTMLs and materials CSS. So that is going to start from the 6th of October, guys. If you are interested in the same, you can definitely register yourself. And yeah, so you will have to attend every single session live itself to be able to get the certificate. Okay. Are you guys able to understand what I'm trying to say? Please do let me know. You guys able to understand what I'm trying to say? Please do let me know. Great. Amazing, guys. Amazing. Uh, okay, Shivam Burma. Sir, I have not got the certificate for Instagram clone, even if I have taken all the classes regularly and completed the project too. Shivam Burma, the deadline for the project submission was 27th midnight. That was yesterday night itself. We will require at least 6 to 7 days to check all the projects, and then only we will be able to send the certificates. We cannot send the certificates without checking the project. So please be patient enough for that. You will be receiving your certificates very soon. Okay, do not worry about it. So without face cam, it's getting awkward. Yeah, I'm able to understand that. I think so. I'll be able to get it fixed by tomorrow itself. So from tomorrow onwards, you would be able to see my ugly face. That is not so good to look at as well. Like if I'm forced to see my own face for almost an hour, I think so I might die. So I think so. You guys are safe for today. Okay. I was graduated in 2015 MPhil and I am eligible to apply for internship as a data scientist. I'm asking this for the past 4 days. You are answering any. I'm so sorry, Mala. I'm not able to read that name, but yeah, I'm so sorry for that. But yes, you are eligible. See, the point being that whoever is having the right skill set and the right knowledge, they can get into any company that you want. Okay, you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so nevertheless, if you are from any branch and you have a gap year, you are having some time that you have spent during COVID at home, you can do anything. Okay, we don't care about it, and no other company also cares about it. Yeah, Ashish. Hello. I'm in a boot, I'm in a boot camp right now. Okay. Thank you so much, Mihir. That's great to hear. Okay. So, guys, let me know what have we studied in our yesterday's class. Please do let me know that. What is going to be in G Drive Clone Bootcamp. So we'll be learning about HTML, CSS, then material CSS, and then we are going to use that knowledge to implement a front end clone of the Google Drive website that you basically use. So that is the basic idea of the upcoming bootcamp that is going to start from 6th. Okay. Okay, so arrays. We studied about arrays, types of arrays. So we just learned about the two types of arrays, guys. Can you guys let me know what are the two types of arrays? Can you guys let me know what are the two types of arrays? Is material CSS different? It's just an advanced version of CSS. But Yash, please focus upon the class right now. I'm asking some questions. Please try to answer those. Fixed and dynamic sized arrays. That's great, guys. That's great. So we will be continuing from right over there. We are directly going to jump into coding itself. Okay, we won't be waiting any longer. So what we are going to do is I will be explaining you CSS while I code. Instead of spending time in like first learning CSS and then jumping into DSA, we don't have that much time in just 7 days. That won't be possible. So what we are going to do is we are going to learn about CSS, fixed size and dynamic sized arrays while we code. Okay, so we'll take up a problem, a simple problem, then we will see how to write code using CSS in that. We'll first be doing it using static fixed size arrays, and then we are going to do the exact same code using dynamic sized arrays. So in one particular class you will be able to learn a lot. Are you guys able to understand? Please do let me know. So should I opt for your web development training or DSA training? My college is tier 2. I have a little experience in web dev though, using React and JS. So one of my suggestions to everybody is usually that it's easier to get placed in web development. Okay, so like you will get a good package, as well as it's much more simpler to get placed in web development. So my suggestion would of course be web development itself. Okay, guys, great. So let's get started right away. Okay. Sir, I have received some appreciation certificate. What is that? Like we are a non-profit organization, so you must have shared the information of the bootcamp with like your 5 college groups. If you have done that, then due to that, we have sent you the certificate. Okay. Okay, so let's get started right away, guys. We won't be wasting any more time. Uh, the first problem statement that we are going to look forward is going to be really simple. We are going to see search. Okay, how to search for an element in an unsorted. Okay, in an unsorted array. Okay, what do I mean by so? What do you mean by unsorted in normal English? Okay, if I'm typing a word unsorted, what do you mean by that in normal English? I'm not talking about anything related to like development or web development or coding, anything. I'm just talking about what do you mean by unsorted in normal English. Okay, random, not arranged, not in order. Okay, randomly stored. Okay, so I hope that you guys are able to understand the meaning of unsorted in normal English. So let me first show you guys the where is my pen? Okay, I got my pen. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm not in the habit of like taking up a class without like you guys seeing me. So, but it feels cool as well. Like you guys are not able to see me. I can do anything that I want right over here. Okay. So let us give you an example. So this is an example of a sorted array. Okay. You are having this array 10, 20, 30, 40, 100. So this is a sorted array, okay, where the elements are arranged in an ascending order. Okay, where the elements are arranged in an ascending order. So this is called as a SORTED, sorted array. Similar to that, you are having an unsorted array as well. Okay. So right over here, if I make the same array unsorted, it will look something like this. Okay. So you are having your 20, 40, 10, 100, 30. So this is an unsorted array. Okay, it's not sorted in any way. So what we are going to do is we are going to look at this particular array. Okay, we are going to look at the unsorted array, and our task is to find an element. Okay, our task is to find an element, let's say 100 in this particular array itself. So where is this particular element located? And I want the answer to be the index of that particular element itself. Okay, the answer should be the index of that particular element. So can you guys let me know what will be the answer if I'm searching for 100 in this unsorted array? What will be the answer that I will be getting, guys? What will be the answer that I will be getting, guys? That's great. 3. So you are having, I'm so sorry for my voice. So you are having 0, 1, 2, and 3. 100 is present at the third index. So you'll be getting the answer as 3 itself. Okay, so that is our basic question. We are going to proceed with this particular question in two ways. First is using a fixed size array, and then we'll look at this exact same question using a dynamic sized arrays in C++ itself. Yesterday I gave you an example, like what is the particular tool that we use for dynamic sized arrays. Can somebody let me know what is the particular tool that we use for dynamic sized arrays? Can somebody let me know? Can somebody let me know what is the basic tool that we use for dynamic size array, guys? I want the answer that I gave you yesterday, not any new answers. Okay, array list is for your Java. Okay, the answer is vectors. Yesterday we have covered this. Okay, yesterday I told you guys that in C++, okay, I'm talking about C++, we have your vectors that exist, and we are going to use that as well. So let us start with this. Now if I want to search for this element that is 100 in this particular array, what should be the process that I should find? Okay, we are not going into something very high profile or something like that. We're going to look at the easiest possible solution right over here, because our goal is to understand C++. Our goal is to understand fixed size arrays and dynamic size arrays. This is our goal for this particular question, and we are using this question just so that we are able to fulfill our goal. What is the easiest possible solution? Okay, the easiest possible solution is just to go over every single element. So first we'll go to the 0th element. We'll check that, okay, is this equal to, is ARR 0 equal to 100 or not? Means is ARR 0 equal to 100 or not? No, ARR 0 is 20, 20 is not equal to 100. So this is, we are not able to get our answer. So we are not able to get our answer. We'll move on to the next particular element. So ARR 1, is ARR 1 equal to 100, guys? Is ARR 1 equal to 100? Okay, no, ARR 1 is also not equal to 100. Okay, so we are not able to get the answer at this as well. Then next we'll move on to the next particular element. So is ARR 2 equal to 100? No. Okay, that is also not the case. Okay, so again we'll move on to the next element. Here ARR 3 is equals to 100. We are able to get our answer. So 3 is the answer itself. This is the process that we are going to do. This is a process that a normal human being will do. If I'm just giving you an array of numbers and I'm asking you to search for a number, you will also do it in the exact same. Look at the first element. No, this is not the element. Second element, no. Third element, no. Fourth element, yes. This is the element. What is the index? 3. So you'll give me that answer. Okay, so as simple as that. We have already learned about for loops, and we are going to use the for loop right over here as well. We are going to learn some new terminologies, some new tricks, but this class is much more going to be focused on the coding aspect rather than your just writing the code itself. Okay, sir, can you explain it again? Sure, no issues in that. I will just explain it once again. So you are having an array. Okay, let me just draw that array out for you. It is an unsorted array. You are having 20, 30, 10, 100, 40 right over here. You want to search for an element that is 100. So as a human being, what will you do? You'll first look at the first particular element. Is this equal to 100? No. So you look at the second particular element. Is this equal to 100? No. You will look at the third element. Is this equal to 100? No. Then you will be looking at the next particular element. Yes, this is equal to 100. What is the index of this particular element? 3. So you'll give the answer as 3 itself. Okay, so let's get started with the coding as well. We'll just try to find a good place where we are able to code. So C++ online compiler, we are going to go to programmers.com. We'll be able to get a proper IDE right over here, online IDE, and this is where we are going to write our code. Okay, so the main.cpp file that you are able to see on the left hand side, this is where we'll be writing our code, and the output, whatever we want, will be getting on the right hand side. Okay. Yes, you can call this as linear search, Kim Jong-un. So we have the leader along with us as well. Yes, it will be called as the linear search itself. Okay, so let's get started with the code as well. We'll be looking at some interesting things. Now, this particular part of the code has already been written for us. Let us try to first understand what is going on the left-hand side. As you're able to see, these double forward to slash, is everybody able to see my screen clearly? Please do let me know. Is everybody able to see my screen clearly? Okay, I'm not visible because the camera isn't working. From tomorrow onwards, you will be able to see my sad face as well. But for today, can you guys let me know, can you see my screen clearly? Whatever I'm typing on the screen. That's great. So I will just increase the size a bit more. So if that's a particular problem with anybody, he can see that as well. So as you're able to see on the left hand side, this particular, no, this is not good. Okay, on the left hand side, you are able to see these two forward slash. Okay, this is used to make comments in C++ as a programming language. What do you mean by comments in normal English, guys? What do you mean by comments in normal English? For those who are not able to see the screen properly, what you can do is you can click on the settings button. There will be a gear icon on your YouTube video itself. You can select the quality and increase it to 720p or 1080p. You will be able to see it clearly. I know that many of you are using YouTube for the very first time, but yeah, you can do this and that will help you guys see the screen clearly itself. Okay. Okay. So right over here on the left hand side, what do you mean by comments in normal English? Feedback or information. Okay, this comments is something that is usually passed to, like, just for your own knowledge. Okay, I'm just writing some comments down. I'm passing a comment of for some particular person to know. It's not for everybody to know. Okay, so that is basically how, like, your notes and everything, you can consider that to be comments. Okay, so right over here in programming languages as well, sometimes when if you are just writing code, it becomes difficult to understand, like, okay, what is happening in this code itself. It will be like 10,000 lines of code, so how will you be able to understand what is going on right over there? So for that reason, we write these comments, okay, as notes that are there for your own reading. These are not code. Okay, like for example, this particular line is also a comment. This is not a line of code. This is a comment, and this comment won't run. Okay, this is not code. This is just normal English for you guys to understand what is going on right over here. For example, this comment states write C++ code here. So you will be just writing the C++ code there. So that is just a comment that is there. Okay, the second particular line, are you guys able to understand comments? Please do let me know. Are you guys able to understand comments? Please do let me know, guys. Why we are using an online compiler? So that anybody who is having a phone as well, if they don't have a laptop, they are also able to do the exact same things that we are doing. Okay, so that everybody is able to practice whatever we are preaching. Okay, so that's great. Everybody has understood comments. The next particular line is called as hashtag include IOStream. Okay, hashtag include IOStream. This particular line basically gets you the header file. So whatever input output that you want to get from the user, okay, or if you want to take an input from the user or show something to the user itself, you have a particular standard code for it, a particular library. Okay, in C++ we call libraries as header files. This is the output stream. Okay, IO stream, the full form is input output stream. So this particular file contains all the, so taking an input from the user or showing an output to the user, it takes a lot of lines of code to actually do that. And we don't have that kind of time. When you're sitting in a particular exam itself, like I said, you have only 60 to 90 minutes to write 2 to 3 codes. You don't have that time to write like 50 or 60 lines of code just to take input from the user or show output to the user itself. That is the reason why somebody in C++, when C++ was being created, somebody created this file called as iostream.h. Okay, and that is a header file. The h stands for .h stands for header. Okay, so somebody wrote that code for you, and now you can include this particular file into your code and directly start using the input and output in just one line of code itself. Okay, you can just start using it in just one line of code. So right over here, as you're able to see, you are having cout. Cout is basically used to showcase an output to the user. For example, if I'm clicking on this particular button called as run, you are able to see on the output, we are able to see hello world being shown to us. Okay, we are able to see hello world being shown to us right over here. Okay, so that is what I'm trying to make you guys understand. The IO stream basically helps us get this C out and C in, which we can use to directly take an input from the user or showcase output to the user as well. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know. Are you guys able? So first, please try to understand what I'm trying to speak. Okay. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Great. So the next particular thing that we are going to have is you're using namespace std. Okay, so this is a new line of code that we have written right over here. Why we are writing this code and what is its use, what is its significance, that is what we need to understand. So every time that you are writing C out or C in that you are using, okay, you have to write std and then 2:, in front of it. Writing that again and again is just like you don't want to write that again and again actually. Okay, it is just wasting your time. Like I said, you only have 60 minutes to write 2 codes. You don't have that kind of time to waste on writing std : every single time you're taking an input or output or giving out output to the user itself. Okay, to avoid doing that, we use this particular line of code using namespace std. So what this does is, in the entire code, the file main.cpp, in the entire code, wherever there was a need of writing std : okay, that is replaced. So instead of writing std : you can directly use cout. You don't have to write that. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know. Using namespace std but just basically removes the use of writing std : again and again every single time you're taking in C in and C out. Okay, because we don't want to do that. Okay, great. Now the next particular part is this entire thing. Int main, then we are having a parenthesis, and then curly braces may we are having some code written right over here. This is called as your main function. Okay, whenever you're clicking on this particular button run, this function gets run. Okay, this function is getting run off right over here. Okay, whenever you are writing this particular, whenever you're clicking on this particular button run, this main function is getting run. Now what do I mean by this function? Okay, let's try to understand that. Now if I am saying to you that, okay, get up from here, go to like my kitchen, okay, walk 10 steps in front of you, take a right, walk 10 steps to your right itself, you will be able to see a fridge. Open the handle of the fridge itself, take out a bottle, close the fridge, take left, take 10 steps, then take a left, and then come to me and give me that bottle. There's a lot of steps right over here. I don't want, so every single time that I want some water, I don't want to tell you all these steps again and again and again and again. I don't want you guys to do that. Okay, so what I will do is I will tell you this particular entire step once, and I will name it as get me a bottle of water. Okay, I will get me a bottle of water right over here. Okay, I will just tell you that. Okay, and every single time that I tell you that, okay, get me a bottle of water, you will be able to go to the fridge, get a water bottle and come back to me, because you know that this particular term, get a bottle of water, is related to all these steps that are there. Similar to that, in coding as well, we don't want to run or write these lines of code again and again. Okay, so for doing that, we just put it up in a function called as main. We name these steps as a particular function, and the main function is the function that gets run every. You can have thousands of functions in the entire code. Okay, you can have thousands of functions in the entire code. Now, how to identify which function to run? So by default, C++ will run the main function itself. Okay, C++ will run the main function itself. So whatever major code that you have to write, you will be writing it within this particular main function. Okay, are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. For those who are still not able to see my screen clearly, okay, I know that you are using YouTube for the very first time. You can just click on the settings button, go to quality, increase the quality to 1080p, and you will be able to see the screen absolutely clearly. Okay, if you're still not able to see it clearly, I think so you should just like take your phone, rub it against your t-shirt, and you will be able to see it much more clearly itself. Give me a second, somebody is on the door. Yeah, there were some kids at the door itself. So, okay. Let's continue with that. Now, we don't require any of this, so we are going to remove everything from right over here, and we will start to write our code. Okay, we'll start to write our code that is for searching an element in C++. Okay, first we are going to declare our fixed size array. First, we are going to create a fixed size array that we are going to use. So creating a fixed size array is extremely simple. I need to shift my microphone so that I'm able to use the computer itself. I hope so you guys are still able to hear me properly. Okay, so right over here, to create a fixed size array, as you are able to see from the example itself, this array contains integers. Okay, this particular array contains integers itself. So this is an integer type of array. This is an integer type of array itself. So to create an integer type of array, what we are going to do is we are going to write int ARR. This is the name of the array that we are going to create. Okay, you can name it as anything. You can name it as Shaurya as well. That is totally up to you. Okay, so we are going to name it as ARR right over here. Then we are going to have parenthesis, and then that is basically defining that this particular name array ARR is an array itself, and we are going to create our array very simply by just writing the elements that we want. So 20, 30, 100, no, 20, 30, 10, 100, and then 40. Okay, 20, 30, 10, 100, and 40 right over here. Are you guys able to see this? Please let me know, guys. So we have created our int array because this is an array of integer type. The name of the array is ARR, and this is the code that we are going to use to create a fixed size array. Okay, the next particular line we are going to write the number that we are trying to find. Okay, the number that we are trying to find itself. So right now int x is equals to, so x is a variable of integer type, and the number that we are trying to find is 100. Okay, we are trying to find 100 as a number itself. Okay, next what we are going to do is we are going to create a function. So instead of writing the code directly right over here, what we are going to do is we are going to create a function called as search. So we are going to create our very own first function that we are going to create, that is going to do all the searching part for us. Okay, that is going to do all the searching part for us. I've already explained you what functions are. Okay, so now we are going to do this. It's pretty simple. I think so you will be able to understand it very clearly as well. So we are going to create our function called as, so again, search, 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 parenthesis, and then you are having your brackets. Now this search will be returning back to us. Okay, the answer that this function is going to give us is the index of the element. Okay, it is going to give us, if it is able to find the element within the array, it is going to give us the index of the array as our answer. Okay, this particular function search is going to give us the index of our element from the array as our answer. So can you guys let me know if you are getting the answer as the your index of the element, what type of answer you are getting back, what data type of answer you are getting back? Can you guys let me know what data type of answer that you are getting back? Can you guys let me know? Int. So because this function is returning an int, okay, it is giving it an answer that is an integer, the type of this particular function is also integer. So whatever your function type basically depends upon the answer that function is giving you. So we are going to declare as an integer. So this particular function is going to give us an integer answer itself. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to provide this search function with some particular stuff that it needs to basically find that element. What are these things, guys? So first it needs the array. Okay, how will it search something? It needs to get an array as well. Are you guys able to understand that? Okay, so this search function needs some things that, so that it is able to do what it is intended to do itself. Okay, so the first thing that it needs is the array. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know. The first thing that it needs is the array itself. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Great. So the first thing that we want to give it is an array. So int arr and then your brackets. The next particular thing that it needs is the element that it needs to find. Okay, the element that it needs to find right now, that element is your x. Okay, so it requires x as well as the size of the array. What is the current size of the array? So how many elements does that array has? Okay, that is also something that it needs. So we are going to name that particular variable, what is the size of the array, as n. Okay, it requires the size of the array, so we are going to name it as n itself. So int n. Okay, these are the three things that we need to perform the search itself. These are the three things that our search function needs to perform the search itself: the array, the integer that we need to find, and the size of the array itself. Are you guys able to see this? Please do let me know. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. So why do we require to write arr or int n or int x right over here? Because right now you are basically creating so for example, the first time that I was telling you guys about these steps to go to the refrigerator, take out a bottle of water and come back to me, I was not telling you to do that immediately. I was just telling you that these are the steps. Okay, I'm just defining that. I'm just declaring that right now. Okay, you have to perform that when at a later point of time, whenever I say that get me a bottle of water, you will do all that steps. So right now you're creating that definition. Okay, you're creating the definition of search. We are not, so this particular function is just, it is not getting to get executed. Okay, so for example, if I am showing you a particular picture, okay, let me just show you Midoriya Izuku. Okay, so if I'm showing you a particular picture of Midoriya Izuku, okay, see, he's a particular anime character from My Hero Academia. I'm telling you guys about him, that okay, he's Midoriya Izuku. He's like 5 feet tall. He has the position of all for one. He's a superhero. He can save you guys. He wears a green color clothes. So I'm giving you some information about him. Right now, I'm just declaring him. I'm just giving you an information. I'm telling you about it. Okay, I'm not. So if you want Midoriya Izuku to save you, you will have to call him. You will have to ask his name and call him to save you. Okay, right now I'm just telling you about him. So right over here as well, in this particular code, we are just declaring this function. We are just creating this function. And these are the stuff that this function requires. That is the reason why we have to write int arr, int x, and int n. Okay, because it does not exist right now. You're just creating this function. It is not able to utilize them right now. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Okay, so the next particular thing that we want to do is we want to create a for loop. Okay, if you guys remember, right over here, what we were doing is first we come to the first index, then we go to the second index, then we go to the third index, and so on and so forth, up till unless we have found the element that we are looking for. Okay, until unless we have found the element that we are looking for right now. So for this, again, a simple for loop would be there. Okay, for int, that is the iterator. We have already talked about it on the first day. I hope that you guys are able to remember it. For int I is equals to 0, that is the index that we are going to start. That is I is equals to 0. I is should be less than n. Okay, if n is the size of the array. So right over here, the size of the array is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Size of the array is 5 in this particular example. So it can go up till 4 itself because the index starts from 0. So 0, let me put it up in two separate colors so that you are able to understand that. Okay, so if we are looking at indexes, so it is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. But when we are counting the numbers, when you are counting n, like the number of elements in the array, you are having 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if n is equals to 5, we are having n is equals to 5 up till where we can have the indexes, up till n minus 1. Am I right or wrong, guys? Please do let me know. Am I right or wrong, guys? Please do let me know, guys. If n is equals to 5, that is the number of elements that are there in the array is 5. Okay, then the indexes will go up till n minus 1, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I right or wrong, guys? Please do let me know. Are you guys able to understand this point? That's great. So in the same way, we are going to write, so I, okay, so for the police officer, I should be less than n. Okay, I should never be equal to n. I should always be less than n. And then we are going to have I plus plus. Okay, this is the for loop that we are going to have, guys. Am I right? This is the for loop that I'm going to have. So what we are going to do right now is we are going to go back to our code and we are going to start writing our code itself for int I is equals to 0, I is less than n, and I, okay, I'm writing it in the wrong place. Sorry. Control X, Control V, back to top. Int I is equals to 0, I is less than n, and I plus plus. Okay, this is going to go inside our search function itself. I didn't saw it and I started writing in the main function. Okay, so in the search function itself, we are having the for loop. Now, what will happen inside the for loop? What are we going to do inside the for loop itself? Can somebody let me know? What are we going to do inside for every single loop? For every single loop, what are we going to do? Okay, can somebody let me know? What are we going to do for every single loop that exists? We are going to find x. Okay, we are going to compare the value of the array element with x. Okay, that is what we are going to do. We are going to compare the value of the array element with x. Okay, so what we want is if this is equal to, if this arr 0 is equal to okay x, in that particular case we want to return 0. Am I right? Or else we want to continue with the loop itself. So the code that we want to do is if arr I is equal to x. Okay, why I'm having two equal to signs right over here? Why I'm having two equal to signs right over here? When you are writing arr I 0 is equals to x, that means that you are assigning the value x to the arr 0. Okay, you are assigning something. Okay, here what we want to do is we want to check whether the LHS is equal to the RHS or not. This is what we want to do. To do that, the symbol that is there in C++ is double equal to sign. Okay, the comparison operator. Want to compare whether the left hand side is equal to the right hand side or not. For doing that, we are having double equal to sign in C++. So we are going to write if. Okay, if statement basically checks if this is true, then only go and run this particular line of code that is there inside. Otherwise, continue further. Okay, that is the use of the if statement in life as well, in English as well. You are having if this happens, then do this, otherwise move further. Okay, that is what we want to do. Okay, so if ARRI is equals to X, if this is true, only then this particular line of code will work. Otherwise, we'll move further with that. Okay, otherwise you will move further with that. You will never be able to enter into the if statement itself. Are you guys able to understand this particular line of code? Okay, the line of code is basic. Okay, if ARRI is equals to X, in that particular case, return. Okay, that is the answer that we want. Return. Okay, return I. That is the answer that we need. That is the index. Okay, return I. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know. For every single for loop, so this will be present inside the for loop itself. For every single for loop, we want to check if ARRI is equals to X, then return I. If not, then continue with the for loop itself. So let us write this particular line of code right over here. If ARRI is equals to X, in that particular case, return, okay, return I. Okay, when you are writing return I, this is where the entire function ends. Okay, when you are having, if this particular line is run, okay, if return I is run at any point of time, this entire function gets over. You have got the answer. The search function has returned the answer back to you. Okay, that is how the return function works. Okay, this is how the return function works. But what if that element did not exist? What if in this particular array, okay, the array that we are having, let's say 20, 30, 40, 10, 100 and 40, you are searching for 50. Okay, X is equals to 50. What will happen in that particular case, guys? What will happen in that particular case? The entire for loop will run. The entire for loop will run from index 0 to index n, and then because ARRI is never equal to X, because X is equals to 50, that does not exist in the array, ARRI is never equal to X itself, you never get this particular line run, you never get the return I run. So you come out of the loop without getting any answer. You come out of the loop without getting the answer itself. So what we are going to do right over here is we are going to return -1. Because index cannot, like, index can be -1, yes, but not in C++. It can be -1 in Python, but not in C++. Index can always be positive in C++ itself. So we are going to return -1 as the answer, that this particular element does not exist in the array. Okay, this particular element does not exist in the array. Okay, that is the reason we are going to return -1 right over here. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know. So if this for loop is not able to find the element in the array, in that particular condition, it will come out of the for loop and run this particular line, that is return -1. But if your like number is found, if X is found in the array, it will run this return, that is return I. Okay, it will never return -1. Okay, so horizon VFX, everybody is able to understand. I think so you were late or something, that is the reason you are not able to understand it. Okay, so right over here we have completed with our search function, but this is just declaring the first search function. We have created the first search function. We need to use it. Okay, we need to use it right now. So we are going to create the output. Okay, to use this particular search function, you have to call that function itself. Okay, right now you have just declared it. You need to call Izuku Midoriya. You cannot just, I have told you guys about Izuku Midoriya, but if you want to utilize him, if you want you to, like, him to save you, you have to call him by his name. That is the exact same thing that we are going to do. We are going to call the search function. To call the search function is absolutely simple. You have SEARCH, that is the name of the function. then parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis, you provide this particular search function. Okay, you provide this particular search function with the things that it needs. Okay, we need to provide the search function with the things that it needs. Okay, what are the different things that it needs, guys? You are having the array, you are having the value of x, and you are having the value of n that it needs. So let us provide it with that. You are having arr, that is the array that you need to provide it with. You are having x, so you know that that is a variable, so you're going to provide it with x, and you need to have the length of the size of the array itself. Size of the array is 1 2 3 4 5. So 5 is the size of the array. These are the three things that you are going to provide it with. Okay, this will return you either the index of the element if it is found, otherwise -1. Okay. Okay, again, many of you guys are not able to understand this return -1. Are you able to understand that if the element is not found in the using the for loop, if we are trying to find 50 in our array, 50 does not exist in this particular array, so it will come to the first index. Okay, it will not be able to find it. Go to the next, not be able to find 50, not be able to find 15, not be able to find 50. At last it comes to 40, not able to find 50. So it comes out of the for loop. What after that? We are not able to end the function itself. We are not able to end the function itself. That is the reason why we are writing return -1. -1 is not a index. Okay, if you are getting -1, that means that the element was not found. So to return something by default, we are writing return -1. So in that particular condition where the element does not exist in the array, we are able to get -1 as our answer. We are able to get -1 as our answer. Okay. So right over here, as we are able to see, we have written our search function, and we'll just see out it. Okay, you use cout, cout, less than to print something out to your screen. Okay, you use cout less than, then you're calling that function that is going to give you either the index or -1 as your answer, and you're going to print it out in the output. You're going to print it out in the output using the cout less than function. Okay, so I'm running this particular function itself. The main function gets run. Okay, then you create the array, it creates x, it like pulls out search array x comma 5. Okay, it calls that function, then this particular function gets executed. It is able to find like arr 3 is equals to 100, so it returns 3 back to us, and hence we are able to get 3 as our output. Hence we are able to get 3 as our output. Okay, for example, right over here, if we were trying to find, instead of 100 we were finding, let's say 1. Okay, 1 does not exist in this entire array. 1 does not exist in this entire array. So if you run this particular line of code, it will go through the entire thing, it will go through the entire for statement, it will not be able to find anything, and hence you are going to get return -1. -1 is going to come right over here, and you are going to print -1 out in the output that you are able to see in the output itself. Are you guys able to understand this or not? Please do let me know, guys. So why do you wrote arr x comma 5 50 it was, but yeah, so I've already told you, I think so, Horizon, you were not present in the class or something like that. I gave the example of Midoriya itself. In the above statement, we have just declared the function, we have just wrote what does the function does, but to be able to use it, we need to call that function. To call that function, we have this search to call to use that function, but you need to provide it with all these details itself so that you are able to use it. So array x and n, so we are able to provide arr, that is the array x, as well as n, that is 5, that is the size of the array itself. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know. N indicates the size of the array. Okay, n indicates the size of the array itself. See, this is the utmost basics. Even if you're a beginner, you should be able to understand this, because this is something. So for example, the for loop, we have dealt it with on the very first day itself. Okay, the if statement is something that is you usually use on your daily life. Okay, this isn't something that is just for your coding perspective. Okay, if this or that, okay, you always use it in your daily life itself. Otherwise, every single thing that is being coded right over here, I have written the I've told you guys the exact meaning of it for every single line of code. Okay, just give me a second, somebody is the at the door. Okay. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Great. Now we'll do the exact same thing by using like vectors instead of using your normal arrays itself. That is our aim next, guys. Okay, are you guys able to understand? Are you guys able to understand? We are going to write the exact same thing, okay? The exact same search function using vectors. Right now, we were doing it using our like normal arrays itself. The same thing we are going to do it using vectors right now. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. So instead of doing anything else, we are going to write a similar function. Okay, instead of writing a new code, we are going to create a new function called as int find. Okay, we are going to create a new function called as int find that is going to take in a vector to find the element. That is going to take in a vector to find the element itself. Okay, it is going to be very simple, guys. Do not worry about it. First, we'll start by creating our vector itself. So we'll be starting by creating our vector. The vector, to create a vector, it's pretty simple. Okay, you can just write vector and then int, okay, that is the type of the vector that you're going to create, is equals to, and then the exact same thing as above. Okay, we are not going to create anything new. We're going to use the exact same thing as above. So you're having a vector int is equals to, and we are going to name it as well. So let us name it as vec. Okay, we are going to name it as vec. That is the name of the vector that we are going to create. Simple enough, not too complicated. Okay, we have just created a vector and nothing else. We have just created a vector. It is created in the very similar way to arrays as you are able to see above. So vector int, that is the type of the vector, and then you are having your vec. Okay, now to be able to use this vector, we need to import another header. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to remove your IO stream. Okay, we are not going to include IO stream. Instead of IO stream, we are going to include bits, bits, bits / std c++ dot h. Okay, this is what we are going to include. Okay, why we have replaced this? See, your IO stream is just for your input output. Okay, your IO stream is just for your input and output right over there, nothing else. So it's a very small header file. Now your bits std c++.h contains vectors, contains a lot of different data structures inside of it, including input and output as well. So it's a bigger header file. Now, because we need to use vectors as well. That is the reason why we are replacing the IO stream by bits / std c++.h. Okay, because just including both of them does not make any sense, because std c++.h already includes your IO stream. Okay, are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. So this is again a header file that is there, and we are going to utilize it right over here. Okay, so that is the difference between your IO stream and your bits / std c++.h. Okay, so now we will be able to use vectors as well. Oh, I'm very tired right now. Now, this particular function find is going to take in a vector as an input as well as the element that you need to find. Okay, it is not going to require the size to be passed on, because you have some inbuilt functions for methods for vectors which you can use to find the size of the vector itself. So in arrays, you were not able to do that. Okay, there is a particular code that you can use. I will tell you guys about it at a later point of time, but in particular in your vectors itself, there's an inbuilt code that you can directly use to find the size of the vector. So you don't need to pass on the size of the vector itself, and that is something that we are not going to utilize as well. Okay. So right over here, what we are going to do is we are going to pass in the vector. So we are having vector int, and we are going to name it as vec, as well as int x. That is what we are going to find. Okay, so we are going to provide the find with two particular things. Okay, vector vec as well as int x. Okay, these are the two things that we are going to provide it to our find function. Okay, so what we are going to do right now is we are going to start writing our code itself. Okay, to okay, we cannot name it as find, so we are going to name it as something else. We are going to name it as vec search. Okay, we are going to name it as vec search because find is already inbuilt function that already exists. So we cannot name it as find. We are going to name it as vec search. Okay. Okay, so now there are some things that you need to understand about vectors. In vectors, you don't have normal eyes that you can use. Okay, you can use eyes as well as iterators, but there is a better iterator that is there, that is a pointer iterator. Okay, that is a pointer iterator. So what is a pointer iterator basically? So your vector basically looks the exact same as an array. Okay, this is how the vector looks. So you're having 10, 20, 30, 10, 100 and 40 right over here. We remove the last particular thing, and this is a vector as you are able to see. Okay, there's no particular difference that you are, since you're using I, you usually targeted the index. Okay, you usually targeted the index, okay, as your iterator. Okay, but in vectors itself you have it, okay, as an iterator. It's a pointer. What is a pointer? If you remember the last class, I told you guys that each of these elements are stored at a particular address in the computer's memory. So 20 is stored at x, then x plus y, then x plus 2y, then x plus 3y, then x plus 4y, and so on and so forth. Do you guys remember that? Please do let me know. Do you guys remember that? Please do let me know, guys. So this pointer basically points to this particular address itself. Okay, this pointer basically points to this particular address itself. Okay. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know. This pointer it will point to these. So it basically iterates over the addresses. Instead of iterating over the index, it iterates over the addresses itself. Okay, in the I iterated over index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It will iterate over x, x plus y, x plus 2y, x plus 3y, x plus 4y. Okay, that is the point of pointers. Okay, so the first pointer, okay, the pointer that points to this x for vectors is called as vec. Okay, that is the name of this particular vector, vec dot begin. That is like it points to the first element of the vector. Vec dot begin points to the first element of the vector, and vec dot end points to the last element of the vector. Vec dot end will point to the last element of the vector. Here vec is the name of this particular vector itself, vec. Vector is a dynamic size arrays, guys. Yesterday we had talked about it. Okay, we are going to look at some of its use cases and everything, but right now we are just learning how to use it. Okay, so as you're able to see, vec dot begin points to the address of the first element of the vector. Vec dot end points to the address of the last element of the vector itself. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Okay, vec.begin. This is a piece of code, guys. This is a piece of code. This is an inbuilt method for vectors that basically gives you the pointers to the start of the vector and the end of the vector itself. As the name is, you are easily able to understand where the vector begins and where the vector ends. Okay, and it we basically use it for reiterating through the entire. It is basically a pointer. Okay, think about it as a pointer itself that points to a particular address. Okay, so we are going to go back to our code and we're going to start writing our code itself. So now it is an iterator, it's a pointer. Okay, so for pointer the type, okay, for example for index I you are having int I because it was the index is 0 1 2 3. But what about addresses? We don't know anything about addresses. So for that we use auto, auto, okay, as the type itself. That basically auto defines the type of the iterator. Okay, it auto defines the type of the iterator itself. So we're not declaring it as int, we are not declaring it as a string, we are not declaring it as anything else. We're directly writing auto, so it will automatically find out that okay, it is an address. Okay, it is an address itself. So auto it is equals to, now because we are using vectors have a lot of inbuilt functions available. So instead of doing all this like going through every single element and finding out whether it exists or not, for vectors we actually have a lot of inbuilt functions that have already been built for us that we can directly utilize to do this search. And that function is basically a find function. Find. Okay, this is a function that is an inbuilt function for vectors. This is a particular inbuilt function. Somebody has already written the code for it. We don't have to write the code. Somebody has already written the code for it. Okay, so it takes in 3 attributes, that is v.begin, begin, where the vector basically begins. Okay, it takes in another attribute that is v.end, that is where the vector ends. Here we are going to write vec.begin and vec.end because that is the name of the vector that is there, and the element that you need to find, that is x. Okay, it's an inbuilt function in C++. This is not something that is we are creating. Okay, it's an inbuilt function in C++, guys. Okay, so auto, and it returns back an address. It returns back a pointer to where this element is present. It returns back a pointer to where this element is present, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Okay, there is a small mistake that I have made while telling you guys. Vec.end, okay, does not point to the last element of the array. Okay, vec.end does not point to the last element. I have made a small error right over here. I need to correct it. Vec.end does not point to the last element of the array. It points to the address next to it. Okay, I'm so sorry for that. It does not point right over here. This points to the next address, that is x plus 5y. There is nothing present right over here. There is nothing present. There's no element right over here, guys. So vec.end points to this address, x plus 5y. That is not present in the array. So that is the end of the array itself. Okay, I made a small error right over here. Vec.begin points to the first element of the array, whereas vec.end points to the after the array itself. Okay, where the address ends for the array after that. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know. I made a small error right over here while telling you guys. Vec.end does not points to any element present in the array. It points to an address location just after the array itself. Okay, are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. When we were dealing with addresses in arrays, I had told you guys about it. Okay, great. So what we are going to do right now is, so this basically takes in vec.begin where the vector starts, vec.end where the vector ends. Okay, and x, that is the element that we need to find. Okay, that is the element that we need to find, and it returns an iterator. It returns a pointer that points to if x is present. If x is present in this particular vector, then it will return a pointer to that particular element itself. Okay, if x is present in the vector, it will return a pointer to that particular element itself. Okay, for example, right over here, the answer that if x is 100, then the answer that would come is a pointer to 100 itself. It will give you an it will be the pointer to 100 itself. But if we are trying to find 50, okay, if we are trying to find a particular element that is 50, that is not present in the array, then it will point to vec.end, okay, because that is not present in the array itself. So for example, initially we were pointing I to -1 if the element was not present. Here we are going to point it as vec.end, because vec.end is not a part of the array. That means that the element is not found in the array itself. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Sure, Gautam. I've already told you guys that the class will be for 1 or 1.5 hours long. If you feel ki like time ho gaya and you are having other work to do as well, let's do one thing for you. I will just revoke your certificate. Okay. You come here for knowledge, but will not give you the certificate itself. Then you can go at any point of time in the middle of the class as well. Enjoy life. Why are you here to study? Okay, you have other works to do. Maybe watch Grey's Autonomy, or maybe watch some other anime, anything that you want. Yeah, that is what I'm trying to make you guys understand, King Jong-un. Okay, for example, 50 is not present in the array. Okay, 50 is not present in the array. In that particular case, it is going to point to the vec.end. It is going to point to vec.end at the end itself. Okay, it is going to point to vec.end, and vec.end is not a part of the array. It points to this particular location, which is not a part of the array itself. Okay, so if it is found, then it will point, it's a pointer, please remember that it will point to if it the element itself, otherwise it will point to vec.end. Okay, so right now what we are going to do is, but we need the answer as the index. Okay, we don't want the answer as it, we want the answer as index. So what we are going to do is, if it is not equal to, okay, vec.end, that means the element was found in the array. Okay, if it is not equal to vec.end, that is, it is pointing to something else that that is present in the array. That means we have found our x. In that particular case, we are going to do cout less than, we are going to return let's say it minus vec.begin, and this will be a positive value, that will be the index. Okay, that is basically like subtracting the like addresses itself. That is basically subtracting the addresses itself. Each of these addresses are just one above the other. Okay, if the first address is 100, the next is 101, then 102, then 103. So whatever it is pointing to, if I just subtract it from vec.begin, then I'm going to give the difference, that is going to be the index of the element itself. Okay, for example, right over here, if you are having this array itself, okay, let us take it by a example. You are having this array 20, 30, 10, 100 and 40 right over here. Your it is basically pointing to this. So this is 100, 101, 102, 103, 104. Your it, okay, your it is basically pointing to 103 right now. Okay, it is basically pointing to 103 right now. Your vec.begin is pointing, to 100. That is your it, that is that is your vec.begin, and this is your it. So if I'm subtracting it from begin, I'm going to get 3 as the answer. That is the index. Okay, that is the index of my element. Okay, that I'm going to find. That is the index of the element that I'm going to find. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know. So I'm doing it minus vec.begin. I'm able to get the index of the element itself. The addresses here is just an example. It can be starting from 90, it can be starting from 1150. Okay, but this is going to be the case. Okay, this is going to be the case itself. Okay, so we are going to do it minus vec.begin, or if it is not found, if it is equal to vec.end, then we are going to return -1. Okay, we are going to return -1 right over here. Okay, because if it is not found, if you are not able to get it is equal to vec.end, that means that element is not present in the array. So we will be returning -1 itself. We will be returning -1. So now what we are going to do is, we are going to call this particular function up. Okay, so the exact same way, cout less than, and then we are going to have our vec search. I think so, search. Okay, so we are going to count our vec search. It's search right over here, and we are going to give it our vector, that is vec, as well as x, that is present right over there, and we are going to just, that's it. Okay, so and this, let us put it in the next particular line, less than end l. Okay, so right over here, why I have put this end l? Okay, let's first remove this end l. Okay, let's first remove this end l and run this particular line of code. You will be able to see, okay, this L is coming right over here. Let's run this particular line of code again. So you are able to see 2 minus 1. We are trying to find x is equals to 1. Let's take it up as 100 again. Let's run this once again. You are able to get 2, 3 and 3 in the same line, because your cout for search as well as your cout for vec search is coming in the same line. What we want to do is we want to move the cursor to the next line, okay, after we have run this particular search itself. Okay, after we have run this particular search function, we have got the answer. We want the cursor to move to the next line and print something out once again. To be able to do that, we are having less than endl. Okay, that is end line. Okay, that takes the cursor to the next line itself. That takes the cursor, this particular code takes the cursor to the next line. It ends the line right over there. Okay, so now if I'm running this, it will print 3, and then in the next line it will print 3. Okay, now if I want to put some text as well, this 3 and 3 I'm not able to understand looking at the output what it means. I want to have some text to be able to make it clear, so I can put some more text right over here as well. I'll put some more text like this. Okay, search via fixed size array space, and then we are going to have search via dynamic size array. So I'll just copy paste it. I don't want to write it once again. Control V, search via dynamic. Okay, we are going to run this particular line of code, and you will be able to see that we are getting search via fixed size array 3, search via dynamic size array as well as 3. So what we have done is extremely simple. We have just like added some text right over here. So using less than, then the text, and then less than, then the function, then less than, and then you are having end L. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please do let me know, guys. What is the difference between print and return? Print does not exist in C++, and return exists in C++. If you're finding about cout, that is used to show an output to the user, whereas return is basically used to get an answer from a search itself, so from a function itself. That answer is coming right over here, and then you're using cout to show it to the user itself. It is basically as if getting seeing a money inside of your account and getting it in hard cash. Okay, that's the basic difference. Okay, so we'll stop right over here. I will show you guys the attendance for today's class as well. Give me a second. I'll show you guys the attendance for today, guys. So this is the QR code for today's class, guys. You will be able to scan it and get the attendance for today. It is pretty simple. Okay, so we'll be ending the class right over here. Thank you so much, guys. We'll be meeting tomorrow once again at the same time and continuing with the class. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you.